Welcome, everybody, to another Raw Report Speculation Special. I am your humble host, Ultra Maximus, here to give you a breakdown on a wonderful list of things, and today's topic is Marvel's Gwenom. So how's it going, everybody? Thank you for joining, and of course, if this is your first time joining, this here podcast is rated a perfect 10 by me. And for that reason, I would like for you to go and hit that subscribe button and also hit that notification bell for future notifications for when I do go live. Because I'm about to break this down for you right now in something that I like to call the Ultra Maximus Speculation Matrix. And yeah, so we're going to be talking about Gwen Stacy, the version that became Spider-Gwen, the version that became eventually a version of Venom in her own universe. And this version of Venom is very different than the other versions of Venom that we've encountered in other incarnations, of course, because, you know, the Venomverse is a thing. So is the Spider-Verse, and, you know, the Poisonverse, too, which I actually kind of like the Poisons, too. I thought that was a really, really cool thing, Poison X crossover with Venom and X-Men. But moving on. We're going to get into this, guys, and like I said, I want to thank you all for joining me here on this speculation special. Good stuff here, hopefully. Got some people who are going to be checking me out. I did put out on IG today, so maybe some of you guys know about it, but, you know, if not, you'll eventually find it. We're going to go ahead and get into this now. So, everybody knows that the wonderful version of Spider-Gwen that we have entered via the pages of Edge of the Spider-Verse #2, which has a Greg Land variant. So, you know, and people don't want to hear this, but Spider-Gwen herself is a derivative character. Gwenom is another derivative character, because it's just, you know, it's mashup ideas, all right? And this is a mashup idea that obviously has a cult following. A lot of people like it. I'm into it too. I think it's pretty cool. I do prefer Gwenpool, but of course we know Gwenpool is not Gwen Stacy. So I think that's the reason why I like Gwenpool the most. But let's get into this, because I know some of you guys are like, hey, you know, some people are out there advertising, you know, first cover appearance for this and that, but I want you guys to be clear. I've done my homework, and you know I always do my homework. What you have here are your two legit first cover appearances, okay? There's no arguments about this, because there's no way to argue it. Hands down, we already know the concept cover of Guardians of Nowhere. Then we have Spider-Gwen #18 and the Venomized variant of Spider-Gwen, all right? So that Venomized variant of Spider-Gwen, from what I'm hearing in the rumor mill and things like that, you know, was already kind of set up, but the series ran awkwardly, so they were going to try to coincide this Venomized variant with issue 24, but I guess somehow the story got dragged on longer or something happened. But it didn't hit, all right? And then, if you guys remember that the first appearance of Venom is also very convoluted, very many micro appearances, and that's a term that I want people to start, you know, using other than cameo. You have a cameo appearance, which is kind of like, you know, one-page splash, last page of the book, and then you have other things that are like micro appearances that happen between there and their first full appearance. All right, so just breaking it down for you and making sure you guys cover your bets. If you are going to speculate on Gwenom, which I don't think there's a lot of return on it at this point. I really honestly think that she's kind of peaked as far as that character goes. But who knows? I may be wrong. All right, but if you are going to speculate on her, besides the last 2 books that I showed you, you're probably going to want to get Spider-Gwen 22 because it is the first appearance of the symbiote of Gwenom. And I'm going to show that to you right here. So, in this universe, we have Gwenom, or Spider-Gwen, and that right there is Harry Osborn, who's a lizard, like Peter Parker. And the whole deal is that Gwen's irradiated blood is the only thing that can control the host that's generated by the combination of her radiation and some other radiation and the lizard DNA. You have to read the story to understand it all. So basically, she extracts the contamination from his blood, but when it combines with the radiation, right there in the background, boom, first appearance of the symbiote. All right, so this is the first appearance of the symbiote that eventually becomes the Gwenom symbiote. Again, this is issue number 22. All right. Now, there's a second, appearance of the symbiote of Gwenom, but it's an appearance on the Watcher's television, and this is like a filler issue because Gwen barely even shows up in the book. But if you guys see the second row of panels over there on the right-hand side, that right there is the second appearance of the symbiote of Gwenom. All right. So we've established now 2 cover appearances, a interior appearance of the symbiote, a second interior kind of appearance of the symbiote, and then that leads us into issue 24. All right, and let's be honest, no matter what anybody tries to tell you about issue number 25, and as much as I love issue 25 and all the variants, this is the one. All right, if you're going to speculate on the first appearance of Gwenom, the actual happening of her, it's in 24, and this has been long known. However, I just want to point out, Robbie Rodriguez had said that, his eyesight was going bad, and, look at the Peach Momoko style neck that he's drawn here. So this cover doesn't hit, and this is the reason why you guys are going to love what I got for you as far as an explanation of what to buy if you're trying to speculate on her. All right, so I just want to give you the breakdown because I want to prove to you, without any hype, without any personal agenda, without purchasing that last 9.8. And by the way, let me just say that a Spider-Gwen 25 second print 9.8 was on eBay for $199. The dude dropped it $30 to $169, and it sold. I don't know why, because there's 3,000 copies, according to what Larry Doherty, Larry's Comics, is suggesting for a lot of these lenticular second prints. But we'll get into that in a second. But I want to show you guys the appearances. So, all right. Not only do we have the third symbiote appearance right there on the splash page, then there's the fourth version of the symbiote because it was behind her, and basically it turns into a symbiote form and gushes right past her. In this universe, we have Wolverine and Shadowcat who are chasing after Spider-Gwen, and Wolverine gets it. So Wolverine's the one who gets the symbiote first. So Kitty Pryde and Spider-Gwen are now chasing a crazed out, venomized Wolverine throughout the whole issue, and then in the last couple of pages, and this is where we get to the last couple of pages, multiple pages, okay? We do see them finally extracting Wolverine from the symbiote, and that's the page on the right. Symbiote kind of like floating around behind them, and Gwen doing her thing with some of the equipment she was given, I believe by Matt Murdock, to help combine her with it. And in this universe, Matt Murdock is evil. He's the Kingpin of New York. So we see right here Matt Murdock also step in and try to take control over her as the symbiote bonds with her. And again, this is all going down in issue 24. So there's really no quarrels about this. And I'm sorry. She snatches the device from him and basically comes out listening to her friends, the Mary Janes, cranking some tunes. So then she throat catches caught him by the throat. Nice throat catching save, Matt Murdock, and elevates him to help him breathe better. And so basically, Matt Murdock talks to her about her displacement technology and how she should keep better tabs on it. and she sees her dad, who had the crap beat out of him by the Rhino, almost to the point of death, I think, in this book. But Gwenom, the symbiote's now joined with Gwen, so there's no doubt. All right, so we have a full-on Gwenom. So she goes through the portal. She goes to the hospital. Hey, buddy, I'm busy. What's up, buddy? Okay, go close the door. I should have locked the door, but my son had to show me that my wife gave him some Smarties. So here we go. So she goes to the hospital. She sees her dad all beat up and stuff like that, and the cops come through. She's holding her hand. The symbiote's starting to take over, and the symbiote does full on take over. She transforms. She kicks the crap out of the cops in the hospital, and she escapes. All right. So boom, issue 24 is the one you want if you're going to speculate on the first appearance. Now, let me give you the rundown of the covers. So again, like I said before, you have your first cover appearances, which is the concept of Gwenom. Same as the concept of Gwenpool. This was all during the Secret Wars times. All the Gwen covers that appeared on a lot of books were pretty cool. I got to admit. But the first in series continuity appearance of Venomized Spider-Gwen is the 18, clearly. And that variant should be regarded as, it's kind of like the Venomized Mary Jane. It's one of those, and what I really like about this variant, it's not an incentive variant. One of my favorite things to collect are those percentile qualifier variants, because they were harder to get, and some smaller stores are the ones that had them, so I did have to travel to the smaller stores rather than chain stores. But moving on, so again, you have your first cover appearances right here. First appearance of the symbiote in Spider-Gwen number 22. Spider-Gwen number 24 is, of course, your first full appearance of Gwenom. And the Jeff Scott Campbell variant, that is a store variant, is honestly going to be the winner. Because what we have here, this is your first print and your second print. And you can tell the first print and the second print apart. I know my first print picture is missing the barcode that is there on the left-hand side. But if you do come across these in the back issue bins, the second print has a blue logo on it, so that's what you would want to look for. But here we have the conundrum. Now, Jeff Scott Campbell, is a store variant or is it an exclusive? I think it's more easier to call it an exclusive because he is the artist. He's not representing a comic book store. So I think this one does have a little bit of merit because of the exclusivity of it, but also because of the, look on eBay right now. The asking prices for these things are up there. I mean, they're like $165. Surprisingly, this is another one of those Jeff Scott Campbell covers that comes for issue 24. So, because it is in the first appearance, you can kind of line this up to having similar qualities as the first appearance of Null on the cover of Venom 3 third printing. But the Venom 3 third print is an official Marvel release. It's not a store variant or an exclusive. So this is where, again, spec lightly. Don't go dumping a bunch of money into these if you really don't appreciate the artwork, because that's where you're going to have a problem later on. Because of her being a derivative character, you are in dangerous territory, even though her first appearance, 1 in 25 incentive variant, is an absolute monster of a book. I will agree with that. So issue 25, we have your preview art in the back of issue 24, which also even further cements the fact that issue 25 is not her first. But issue 25, I do want to point this out, because of the lenticular covers, the regular cover A is pretty desirable. Pretty cool looking too. Because this is the, chapter 1 of the Gwenom story. So, being that is the chapter 1 of the Gwenom story, and she's on the cover A, that's why the cover A is usually sold out in places, and I do believe it sells for over cover. And then, of course, we have on the left side, we have the lenticular, and then on the right side, and this is how you can tell the two apart, the lenticular obviously has the 3D effects on it. The right side is basically the second print without the lenticular effect, and it has a blue logo with a red box. So look for that red box in the top left-hand logo corner, and then of course the blue logo on the actual trade dressing for that. And then of course you have your how to draw Spider-Gwen face, and then you have your Spider-Gwen face. Those are incentive variants and I think qualifier variants. This one, however, I do want to point out to you guys, this was a qualifier. And you had to qualify. I don't have the statistics up in front of me here, but this one is a little bit harder to come by than some of the other ones that I've shown you so far. And then, of course, for 25, you have your Deodato Comics Exposure variant on the left, and then I think that's a Sanctum Sanctorium collectibles exclusive on the right, which is an ASM 300 homage, which leads a lot of people into wanting them. But the Gwenom story, even though it starts, as a cameo story, because it is obviously her first full appearance in 24, 25 starts, and then 26 has a first print as well as a second print. First print cover's pretty cool with the shield Venom Eye on there, and then 27, which actually came out ironically the same time as the other Phoenix variants. We have the regular cover on the left, and then we have the Phoenix variant on the right. The next issues, of course, we have are 28 and 29, which still continue on with the Gwenom story. So 30 is the final chapter of the Gwenom story in the Spider-Gwen series. However, you guys know, didn't end here. This may have been the last chapter for a while, but shortly thereafter, of course, not long after, we had this volume end, and then we got Spider-Gwen Ghost Spider, or Gwen Stacy Ghost Spider, and then we have now Ghost Spider. So what we have now is in the most recent run, which these are, I think, 2 really recent issues. I know I just picked up the number 9 recently. These are the resurgence of Gwenom. So these are probably ones to be looking forward to if you're into the Gwenom story, because these are probably going to pick up where they left off. So I hope I did well, and I hope you guys enjoyed this edition of the Speculation Matrix. Yeah. So, yeah, thanks for watching. I'm going to tune out here and see. Whoa, geez. There's a lot of people in this chat. So, hey, it's too busy all up in my things here. So, thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate you guys checking me out while I'm live. So, yeah, just want to remind you guys that the Raw Report is just something to do, so please be sure to like and subscribe to that, because I do these things. One show I like to do is called my Prime Pickups, where I pick up books from local stores. That's outside of new release days. Prime Pickups is basically back issue bin diving and stuff like that. Warrior Wednesday is when I do hit the stores for the new books. So I know you guys like to see what I'm picking up. Maximus Mail Calls, where I open up books live on air. So, of course, if you see me buying off you on eBay, pack it well, because I'm going to open it. And I'm going to throw you under the bus, but I've opened up some pretty shitty books. Alright, so Speculation Matrix, of course, is what you were watching here today. And even though this is not a Mighty Mel V Drunken Chat exclusive, you do need to go check that out, because I will be dropping exclusives there. Looks like weekly. And remind you that this coming Saturday at 12:30 a.m. or Friday, if you're a time traveler, watching live at 9:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to Money Mel B's It's Drunken Chat, because it is just a hell of a good time. I love hearing you guys say it's the best late night show on YouTube. We're kind of crazy like that, and some people get a little hammered. I'm still not recovered. Of course, you can find my eBay page, which is the main sponsor of me right now at this unemployed moment. Yeah, that's my eBay page, U1TRA Maximus, and that's the same Ultra Maximus with a 1 instead of an L, where you can find me on IG, you can find me on Facebook as well, X Ultra Maximus X on Twitter, and, I appreciate you guys checking me out here, because this is fun. I like doing these videos, and I like hanging out with you guys on chat, and Looking forward to, let's see what we got here, if I got anybody in here. Doom, what's up, Doom 143, man? Discovery Bay Comics, Mighty Mel V up in the chat. Crimson Mochi, appreciate you guys, appreciate you. Yeah, you know, and Mighty Mel V, this stream is the live stream playlist now. Sweet. Hey, appreciate you guys coming and checking me out. I'll check you next time. This is basically the end. So, thank you for watching. Have a good one.